Hi, welcome back. This is Dee. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to be checking out compilation videos on the tariffs that has been imposed by Trump. There's a 10% tariffs that has been imposed on goods that are going to be imported. Tariffs are taxes that are imposed on imports, so which essentially will make goods more expensive for American consumers. This is presently a very hot topic for a lot of people because there's a lot of complaints going around about how things are going to be ridiculously expensive as if they're not expensive already. So we're going to be checking out these videos and see people's perspective and their thoughts and why they feel like this is going to really hurt a lot of people. Before we get right into this video, I want to give a very big shout out to Saquon Kanti for sending me a $5 super thanks. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and I really appreciate you. Please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
Saturday, April 5th, the tariffs officially go into effect. Goods like iPhones, electronics, wine, clothes, shoes. BBC World News said that cars are going to go up by $10,000. USA Today said that if you're for low-income household, your disposable income will drop by 4%. Televisions, furniture, coffee, chocolate, it's all going up really soon. What are you going to do to be prepared for these tariffs?
So with these tariffs that are about to happen, the people that are going to feel it the most are going to be the ones on a fixed income that rely on Social Security or disability or food stamps, as well as people that actually just have low income in general. And if you're one of those people that shop at places like Dollar Tree or like Dollar General or Family Dollar or anything like that, those prices will probably get jacked up because those places probably rely on a lot of imports from China in order to keep their prices as low as possible. So I honestly would not be surprised to see products that go from like $1.25 up to like $1.50 to $1.75 or even $2 now. And those increases may not sound like a lot of money for Dollar Tree type of products, but those extra 25 to 50 cents to 75 cents will make a huge difference in people's budgets. And I expect a lot of other things to get pretty expensive too. For example, if you rely on medications, a lot of the generics that are made and ingredients are actually imported from China and India, which will be heavily tariffed. So my advice to you is if you can either make more money, please do so if you can, or if you have to save money, try to save by all means possible because this is going to be a very, very crazy ride for a lot of people.
24 hours. Just 24 hours after Donald Trump imposed his tariffs on 180 countries, the stock market faced nearly a $2 trillion wipeout. You heard me correctly. $2 trillion wipeout, making it its worst day since June 2020 during the pandemic. No, seriously, this is the biggest one-day drop in nearly 5 years, making it historically one of the biggest stock plunges. The data that I'm about to read off to you is coming from NBC News, okay? So, Nike stocks fell 14.5%, Lululemon 10%, Ralph Lauren 16%, Amazon 8%, Walmart 10%, Target 12%, Decker's brand 15%. And if you're thinking that is just American retailers, oh no. We also have oil drilling brands such as Valerio Energy. They dropped 15%. Every American brand that decided to have its operations or have its manufacturing warehouses in other countries so that they could save and cut costs and cut corners and be able to take advantage of the labor or lack of labor laws in other countries is all feeling it right now. They all feeling it. Because had these American brands been American-based, as they should have been, they wouldn't be dealing with this. Their investors wouldn't be feeling this. But because they wanted to take their business overseas so that they could exploit the lack of labor laws in other countries, now their business, it's taking a hit. And to be honest, I hope that these tariffs actually start to reverse some of the normalized social constructs in American society, such as materialism and overspending. Now that China is dealing with a 34 to 54% increase on tariffs, that iPhone that everybody swears they just need to have the newest version of every single year that it comes out just went from $799 retail price to $2,300. I want to see you justify spending that much money on a fucking phone that only has 2 new features. Now that people are having to deal with a couple extra dollars in duties fee, Not everybody is going to be worried about having the latest foreigns for school. High schoolers can now actually go to school and receive an education. I don't know how well of an education that's going to be considering under this administration. However, it's no longer materialized superficial bullying. If a kid doesn't have a pair of Pradas, everybody is going to understand why. We in hard times. No more buying a brand new outfit for every fucking event. Do you buy new clothes every time you start a new job? No. So why do we have to always buy a new outfit for a fucking party? Normalize re-wearing the outfit. I never understood why you was trying to make people feel bad for wearing the same thing. Like, I'm trying to get my money's worth. The encouragement of frugalness. The encouragement of frugalness, no longer hyping up, spending and blowing all of your money at the club or at the strip club for what? For what? For Instagram? Yeah, no, I think not. Maybe we could finally go back to judging people based off of their character and not off of the things that they have or don't have. You guys can't even keep up with the fake shit anymore because DHgate is gonna get hit with duties. AliExpress is getting hit with duties. So it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, what's the point of you keeping it up? But yeah, just to get back to it, losing $2 trillion in one day is crazy. It's crazy. I can only imagine how some of these investors are feeling right now. I can only imagine. I want it to be known. I want it to be made known to the public so that I can enjoy the fact that their greed is the reason why they're losing their money. Again, like I said, had these businesses been operating in America like it should have been and not overseas where they can exploit workers and they can exploit the lack of labor laws, they wouldn't be dealing with this. But because they wanted to try to maximize profit at the most minimum amount of effort. You understand? Now look at this. They're losing money. They're losing money. They're losing money faster than they can relocate their businesses. Like, what is he hoping to accomplish with the initiation of a global trading war? Huh? The beginning of another Great Depression? Like, I don't understand, but we all gonna just tune in and find out together.
Well, it's happened. Not only are the tariffs affecting the car prices, but have shut down the whole dealership. Lights are out, power's out, everything's gone.
Many of us here in the US are waking up this morning to our investments and stocks plummeting. I know I made the mistake of checking my account. Trump's tariffs have had a huge impact on the economy and will continue to do so. You know it's a bad sign when his former vice president, Mike Pence, is speaking out directly against these tariffs and warning that the average American will be losing $3,500 this year as a result of the tariffs. Do you know how many people voted for this administration without even understanding what a tariff is? But do you know who did explain it and did warn over and over? Kamala Harris. She spoke out directly against what is happening now. And yet, here we are.
Oh, what was that? That Boomer's entire retirement just went down the drain because of the crash yesterday? Well, maybe now they need to handle their finances a little bit better. Maybe they need to stop buying those $5 lattes that they treat themselves to once in a while, because that's the issue, right? It's a mismanagement of finances. It's not external forces that sometimes you can't control. Not the fact that it's pure market manipulation at play. It has nothing to do with that, right? It's all personal accountability and all your own choices that you made. So I guess you lost all of your retirement savings, so no more coffees for you.
For everyone out there who has an order out on Temu, Shein, or YesStyle, you better make sure that order gets here before May 2nd, or you're going to have to pay $25 to $50 per item in Trump's tariffs. Make sure that stuff is here on time, or they're going to be waiting for a check. Also goes for Asian markets, Korean grocery, Japanese supermarkets, things like that. If you usually buy stuff from there, especially if you buy Japanese rice, if you buy like Korean soy sauce or Japanese soy sauce or whatever you buy, probably go ahead and go stock up on whatever you're going to need for the foreseeable future, like right now. And this includes international sunscreens too, girlies. If you're someone who loves K-beauty, wears Korean sunscreen and things like that, probably pick up a couple years worth of sunscreen. I don't know. Whatever you think you're going to need to try to outlast this or until you're fleeing our war-torn nation.
What are y'all so excited about exactly? You know tariffs are going to make the cost of things skyrocket. You know his economic plans may very well cause a recession this year. Y'all are all of a sudden pro-Russia. You know that Doge is not out here uncovering all this fraud and waste and misuse of tax dollars and then taking that money and using it for your benefit. You know that. There is no way you're convinced that a group of corrupt politicians and billionaires went and found out where all the taxpayer dollars were going to, and they said, oh, we got all this money now, let's give it back to the middle class who we've been fucking over for decades. You know that. You know that Elon Musk did not just throw up a Roman salute. You know that it's wrong to ask Zelensky why he doesn't wear a suit when Elon Musk is over there looking like he just got done eating a fucking funnel cake at the state fair, bro. Oh, he wore a suit at the thing after we made the point. What are you excited for? He says, oh, we're laying the foundation for the golden age of America that comes 45 years from now. I saw the videos of y'all saying that Donald Trump was going to fix inflation. And now y'all are saying that paying more is patriotic. Don't even get me started on the Peyton McNabb story and how they tried to blow that out of fucking proportion for clickbait. Y'all can't even get a true story that sticks. So what exactly are y'all excited about? We're almost, 2 months since the inauguration, and it's been nothing but a fucking shit show. There was just, a 25+ minute video of them laying out the corruption and bullshit that's happened in 6 weeks. Elon Musk saying that they should prosecute or go after AOC is the beginning of going after political opponents. They're already trying to get this iron grip on the news and the information you receive. It's fascism. You're excited for fascism? Do you really think this is freedom? Do you see how Donald Trump self-destructs every fucking time somebody backs him into a corner or asks him a tough question or doesn't kiss his ass? That's fascism. If y'all think that Donald Trump doesn't have Putin in his ear, and that Trump isn't like, well, how'd you take over Russia? If y'all think that Putin isn't just giving him tips of where to step and what to do so he can rule forever, or his perspective can be forever, you're crazy. We're not even 2 months in, and I'm genuinely asking the people that support Donald Trump, what the fuck are y'all excited about? I've seen the veterans that voted for Trump and they were like, oh, he made us a promise on the campaign trail and then he betrayed us all. We fucking told y'all that, bro. The farmers in Nebraska like, oh, doesn't anybody care about Nebraska? No, we fucking told y'all what it was. You said, oh, no, it's deep state fake news propaganda, and then you lose your farm, and now it's, oh, I see the light now. No, what you're going to see is a couple years of fucking struggle because you don't know how to listen unless it's some corrupt billionaire politician motherfucker telling you that the Americans that are trying to warn you are your mortal enemies. That's who you fucking believed. And then it takes you being personally affected and your fucking life being impacted for you to open your goddamn eyes. I just saw the video of that federal worker. It was like, oh, we didn't know he was just gonna cut federal jobs like that. You thought he was on your side. Now you see. It's almost like millions of people were shouting at you for fucking months.
I suggest everyone to save your money for the rest of the year. You guys, you have to understand that we right now, America is living in a crisis where it's so expensive to live everywhere. We're talking about even Nintendo Switch bumping their prices up nearly $600. Already rumors of iPhone coming this year for almost $1,500, $600 for an iPhone. I won't be surprised if tomorrow eggs will be $20. What I'm trying to say is we live in an economy right now that is not to splurge. If you have it, great, good. But if you can save $20, $20 is $20. And a lot of people that I see on a day-to-day basis don't have that amount. So, you know, if you really don't need it, don't buy it.
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and cancel my gym membership because the way these grocery prices about to rise, we're all about to be skinny. Yes.
From one woman who even said that the same basket of groceries that she regularly buys has now effectively doubled. Take a listen.
I feel like the prices are ridiculous now. It's to the point where it's going to be harder for people to shop because the prices are just insane. Literally, yes, because last week I like literally for the same amount of stuff that I bought, I literally paid like maybe 30, 40 bucks. And now it's like $75 for like 3 bags of groceries. It's like completely insane.
Trump just raised your taxes more than anyone else in history. He just put tariffs on pretty much everything that you buy. Your groceries, your gas, your car, the clothes you wear, everything is about to get a lot more expensive because of Trump. It's the largest tax hike in the history of this country. The stock market is cratering. Companies are saying that they're going to be laying off people. It's a mess. Pretty much every economist in the world knows that this is a bad idea, but he's doing it anyway. Because when small businesses suffer, the biggest businesses in the country can then buy them up. So the richest people get richer while you suffer. It's the heist of the century, the great American scam.
Oh, you thought you was gonna keep on getting them cheap clothes from Shein, huh? Nope, not under these new tariff policies that Donald Trump just released. Because in these tariff policies, they got rid of something called the de minimis exception, which basically was a slight loophole where items less than $800 typically didn't have to pay tariffs. But that's going to be closed. So a $20 shirt that you could be ordering off of Shein could soon cost $45. Part of the reason that Shein is able to sell items so cheaply is because they ship directly from China and they don't have warehouses, so they cut down on a lot of expenses in that way. Their American competitors have to import their items and then, you know, ship them from within the country. That's how they were able to offer low prices and be competitive, was because of their business model, kind of. So with that going away, that means prices at Shein are going to increase. So yeah, these tariffs aren't good for anybody. So y'all know who to thank for that one.
The argument that you're going to hear throughout all of this tariff Trump bullshit is you're going to hear people say, well, it might hurt a little bit now, but it'll be better in the long run. This is an argument that I also hear people say kind of when we talk about like AI and like self-driving and what have you. They say it might not be ready now, but later it will be. What they are telling you is they don't care if you live or die right now. This idea that the Trump tariff plan is going to increase production in America is one that is built on a plan that is going to take decades to follow through with and decades to see results in. America doesn't produce a whole hell of a lot in terms of like just like physical, you know, we're not producing a lot of our own furniture, we're not producing a lot of our own clothes, but that's because we're doing a lot of other shit. In order for this tariff plan to mean something, we would have to start producing more in America, which would mean we would have to start building factories and we would have to start hiring people and training those people to do the work within those factories. We would also have to be designing new things, building whole businesses from like the ground up. None of that is going to happen in less than 10 years, let's be real. And especially not when we're actively working to deport a huge portion of the working class. Because the truth truth of the matter is, Americans don't want to work in factories. We're very privileged people. Specifically, like, white Americans. So any of the labor that you would have gotten in these factories that are producing cars or clothes or furniture or what have you are more than likely going to be people who are willing to work for less, which is typically going to be immigrants, poor people, what have you. And ultimately is not something that would even get done and we would start to see results with in the Trump presidency. Any of the results that he's hoping to see from this are not something he's even going to see borderline in his lifetime just based off of the way he looks, acts, age, what have you. And so when someone says to you, oh, well, it might hurt now, but it'll feel better later, a person who can say that to you is a person who will be fine regardless of the economic status of the world or regardless of their job status. Anyone who is like, well, it might hurt, but we'll be okay, is someone who is saying that because they can survive. And it is also not anyone who has a good grip on reality, because none of this is considering the environmental cost of things. We have all these tariffs on like steel and aluminum and what have you. If we're going to have to start getting steel and aluminum from our own country, we're going to start depleting our natural resources very quickly. We're going to have to that's why he's, done everything he can to take down, wildlife preserves and national parks. I'm sorry, I said natural. Because he wants to use those to log and to drill and to mine. And that's going to be a whole other set of jobs that you're going to have to train people to do because Americans are not trained on those sort of things. Americans are not very heavy laborers. And I'm saying all this, and I want to make it very clear, I'm saying this generally. I feel like people are going to be like, oh, are you saying that like we don't work? And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Americans are a pretty privileged people and we have not really had to be like working in the factories the way other people have. And so you're going to have to totally change like borderline a huge part of our culture. You're going to have to get all these people who suddenly want to work those jobs. And when we're actively deporting the people who are more likely to get those jobs, and when we're actively disenfranchising, the poor people who are more willing to do those jobs, it's going to be much harder to get them to do it because they're going to die because they can't feed themselves or their families and they're going to be homeless. So just know that that argument's going to go around and know that you can combat it with one, knowing that that person fundamentally is going to be okay. You can start with that. If someone says that to you, you can say, okay, so what I'm hearing is any sort of economic hardship our country may face, you are going to be fine generally through. And you can also ask them, why are you okay with American suffering now? Because it's also important to note America is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. We could end homelessness. We could end hunger. We could be doing a lot of things, but how would shareholders get their vacation homes? So then also ask them why they're okay with some people suffering. Because we actually don't need to have anyone suffering at all. The only reason that people are suffering is so that people like Elon Musk or other wealthy people can remain wealthy. And then what you can also do is you can rob that person. And ultimately, something that I want to end with is that a lot of you are going to have to get way, 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 way cooler with your neighbor. Even if your neighbor is a Trump supporter, and I know people hate to say it, and everybody likes to jump on my dick when they do, but we are all going to be suffering financially, and it is much better to build community with the people in your neighborhood. Set up meal trains, set up, and I saw someone recommend this a while ago. I think it was Corn Pop, if I'm familiar, but I'm not quite sure. If you're buying in bulk, knock on a neighbor's door and be like, hey, I bought all these things in bulk. If you need some, I know groceries are expensive, come over and, come and grab some. And then you can kind of start exchanging groceries with neighbors. You can also do this with making really big meals. Are you grilling, grill a little bit extra and knock on a neighbor's door and say, hey, I was grilling and I had a little bit of extra food. Do you want some? You can start, exchanging meals with your neighbors. You're going to have to start getting to know your neighbors because you're going to have to start borrowing things from them. This is also a good time to get to know any of your neighbors who might own chickens or might do gardening of any kind. Me personally, I'm really hoping to grow some tomatoes out on that deck this summer. Will I be able to do it? I don't know. I've never grown anything before, but I'm gonna try. And when I get tomatoes, I'd love to drop tomatoes off at my neighbor's doors. And how nice it would be if you didn't have to spend an extra $1 on a tomato. Anyways, things to know.
I guess you must have seen how the stock market has really gone down. That's the hottest topic you can find on the internet right now. And the truth about it is US-based companies moved their companies to a different foreign country in order to get cheap labor. So most times many things are going to be imported. That is why you see a lot of things will just be made in China, made in different places other than the US. So the cheap labor, here we come. There's going to be importation. Try to spend as less as possible. Okay, make sure you buy things that you need and try to reduce your consumerism and try to be so frugal with your spending. because it's not like we're getting paid enough anyway. We're not getting paid enough for all this. Like, if only we were getting paid so much and then people have, disposable income. Now, there's nothing like disposable income. That doesn't exist in anybody's dictionary right now. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I really appreciate you. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. I will see you on the next one. Bye.